and me having to defend it. But, you know, there's a world where I do land that shot. I do put his lights out. I do get him out of there early. He makes a lot of mistakes, and you can't make too many mistakes against me.
You know, if I somehow developed the ability to step back in time and confront my past self on the night that Merab embraced Jose Aldo to death against the cage for 15 minutes and told past me that this dude was on track to becoming the Bantamweight GOAT, past me would have thrown empty soda cans at my head and called me a buffoon. There was not a single soul that was high on this dude back then, not just for this performance against a legend of the sport, but also later on when he was clearly next in line to take on Aljo for the belt, but refused because they're besties and they train together. We can't fight. What are you talking about? We can't fight each other. We're friends. Everyone was like, okay, whatever. Merab Schmerab, who needs him? We skip ahead a few years, and the man has just secured his second title defense against the Pink Man in a thoroughly pointless rematch, and we'll get to that in a second. And it's just more and more clear at this point that there isn't a single man born from his mother that can hold back the relentless EF5 tornado level of pressure from this Georgian devil. No one's gonna do it. Aldo couldn't do it, Cejudo couldn't do it, Jan couldn't do it, Umar couldn't do it, O'Malley couldn't do it twice, and Sandhagen ain't doing it. I love that we're getting that fight next. Corey deserves it. He's deserved it for a couple years at this point, and literally gave up being next in line to take on Umar, which is a Chad move, by the way. But still, he's not beating Merab. It ain't happening. I swear it's true when they say that securing a strap around your waist just boosts your abilities by like 50%. Don't get me wrong, Merab's been a nightmare matchup for everyone for years at this point, but his two performances since becoming top dog have been nothing short of ridiculous. Merab, you are ridiculous, my friend. In the best way, of course. I did not think he was going to beat Umar when they clashed a few months ago. I picked him to lose. But he put the Georgian versus Dagestani wrestling conundrum to bed by upending Umar and shaking out the lunch money from his pockets. Then he goes in there against O'Malley again and made it look like light work. Sean landed some good shots for sure. This fight went almost to a T how I thought it was going to. Pure domination, just endless pressure, buzzing around like a wasp, O'Malley looking miserable throughout the duration. I say almost, however, because I kind of expected it to be a more boring affair. I'm not gonna lie, I did not give a rat's anus about this fight. O'Malley did nothing to deserve the rematch. Their first fight wasn't exciting or that close, and I've said publicly in the past that I think it would have been better to see Petr Yan get another stab at it. Even if I thought he'd get ham sandwiched in the process just as badly as Sean, he certainly deserved it more, let's be real. There was not an iota of hype going into this rematch, and I think it was clear they only put it together because they really wanted Sean to get the belt back so they could have him as champ for the new TV deal. Same thing with Adesanya sitting out for a year and getting the shot against DDP last year. And you know what? Serves them right for both cases. I'm glad Dricus and Merab held back the company darlings trying to jump the line. I like Izzy and O'Malley just fine, but they're rankings for a reason. The special treatment being rewarded with a slap in the face just feels like good karma, you know? But anyways, not only was it not deserved, I just saw it playing out in the exact same fashion that the first fight did. Merab by seasoned with salt decision. I was fully prepared to come on here and just be a whiner complainer man come the day after the fight. But Merab halted the vitriol because he just put on a clinic. Honestly, today I'm kind of changing my mind retroactively on the importance of this fight. I saw it as completely pointless when it was announced until right before they stepped in the cage, but I think seeing him march down O'Malley, impose his will, and finish him before the fourth round puts a definitive stamp on who the better fighter is, no doubt. Like I said, I didn't think their first fight was close at all. It was pretty dull. Merab choking him from pink to purple just cements it. It's kind of akin to the rubber match between Volk and Holloway for me. Now that one wasn't quite the same because a lot of people thought Max won their second fight and actually fought off some contenders to earn another shot, but it's similar in the sense that the beatdown Volk put on Max shut the naysayers up for good. He proved he was king shit. Now, in saying all that, do I think Merab is the bantamweight GOAT now? It's starting to look like it, but I'm flip-floppy on it. Let's put it like this. He isn't the undisputed GOAT at 135 just yet, but he is a piss hair away. Thing is, this is the hardest division to pick a best ever in when compared to pretty much all the others. There's no debate with light heavyweights, John Jones. No debate with welterweights, GSP. Women's 135 or women's in general, Nunes. The only one where you really have to get into the minutia of it is 135, which just speaks to the quality of it spanning back 2 decades. I think the only 2 in contention with Merab for that title would be Dominic Cruz and Aljo. Let's go ahead and get the Aljo thing out of the way. He ain't the GOAT. Up until Merab started surging upwards, he was a decent number 2 behind Cruz, having held the belt long enough to defend it 3 times against pretty good competition. But the issue is there is an asterisk next to every title fight. I fucking hate that word, asterisk. Asterisk. He gets the belt by taking a knee to the face, then defends it in a very close fight that many thought Petr Yan should have won, then takes on a one-armed Dillashaw who had no business being in a fight, and then takes on Cejudo coming off a 3-year-long layoff, and again, a lot of people thought Cejudo should have won. This is not to discredit him or take away from his reign. The only reason I mention that at all is because when you compare it to Merab, when was the last time you saw Merab in a close fight? When was the last time he didn't smother his opponent? It's been a fat minute. And then as for Cruz, I think much of his claim to the throne of GOAT goes back to his WEC days, which if you factor in those, means he had several title defenses going into the UFC, and then defended it a couple times under the big lights against Faber and Mighty Mouse before being sidelined due to those pesky injuries we've all heard so much about. But then he comes back and snags it off Dillashaw and then defends it again. And that was his last stretch of greatness before losing the strap to Cody. But still, I think that comeback in 2016 is what cemented him for most people as the best, as it's just been a game of hot potato ever since. But Merab is creeping close, if not already taking over. In fact, I'd go as far to say he just needs one more defense to completely solidify himself as the 135 GOAT. Many people are already giving him that distinction, and I don't entirely disagree, but it will be undeniable at that point. If he smokes Corey Sandhagen, fucking forget about it. He's the GOAT. I mean it when I say it. There is not a soul in this division that's beating that guy. The guy who made Petr Yan and Henry Cejudo look like chumps. The guy who held back Umar Nurmagomedov with style points to boot. The guy who put a fucking pace on the power punching sniper in Sean O'Malley and took him to school twice, dominantly the second time. No one in that top 15 or approaching it will halt him. I think we're shaping up for a legendary run, folks. Let's enjoy it.